everything that you can get from another person in a relationship has a transacted value and can be bought. That doesn't necessarily mean bought with money, but it can mean that. You can buy sex. You can buy companionship. You can buy emotional support and childcare and home-cooked meals. You can even buy children through adoption or surrogacy. You can buy everything that can be transacted in a human relationship. However, you can't buy love. And that is because, paradoxically, love is valueless. Valueless in the sense that it is free, and valueless in the sense that it cannot be bought at any price. On the other hand, if you want love, you don't need a relationship. Why? Listen carefully. If love is wanting the best for the loved one, you can only reasonably want a relationship with the loved one if a relationship with you is literally the best possible thing for the loved one. And let's be real, it probably isn't.
Women are paid companions. All relationships are transactional. Today's video comes from the Filipina P. Her channel will be linked in the description so that you can go and check her out and support her. Watch the end of the video to fully understand why all relationships are actually transactional and what this implication will have for relationships between men and women going forward. And now let's just go ahead and jump right into the video.
Hi folks, the Filipina P here. And today I'm gonna be dropping truth bombs all over the place. And I'm afraid I might say some things that are gonna upset just about everyone, from feminists to conservatives to married couples. Because I'm gonna pose the question, are all relationships transactional? Are women really just paid companions? Or can we love you unconditionally? Now, I've heard a lot of people claim that the only relationship you'll find in Southeast Asia is the GFE, otherwise known as the girlfriend experience, which is an arrangement that blurs the line between a purely financial transaction and a romantic relationship, where both parties understand that in return for monetary support or gifts, the woman will allow a certain amount of intimacy along with the sexual favors. The intimacy can be real or manufactured, but it's understood that without the money, there's no honey. There are also different kinds of GFEs. There's the one-time encounter, where the woman pretends to have an attachment to whatever man uses her services. She might ask about his day, hold his hand as they enter a restaurant, and lean her head on his shoulder as they ride the elevator up to his hotel room for the night, but they might never see each other again. Then there's the sponsorship type of arrangement, where a man might provide living quarters and money for expenses in return for a relationship that resembles a typical boyfriend-girlfriend situation. Although the two people involved often don't live together and might only see each other occasionally. The girlfriend experience is popular with men who want companionship as much as they want physical pleasure, but without all the strings and responsibilities of the real relationship. Sometimes the men are already married, sometimes they're single, but they've decided it's better to rent than to buy. But either way, it's almost always an older man and a younger woman who end up together. And here in Southeast Asia, it's a buyer's market. If a man can just as easily have a younger woman for the same price as an older one, he's gonna choose the newer model most of the time. A man doesn't stop admiring youth and beauty just because he ages. And an older man often had a lifetime to accumulate wealth. So in this part of the world, he can pretty much just rent for the rest of his life. For the woman, in this case a Filipina, a GFE situation might be perfect for her too. She may already have a husband or a boyfriend, and as sad as this may sound to you guys, most husbands know about their wife's activities with a foreign sponsor, and they're fine with it as long as the money keeps coming. And since he gives his consent, he's not really cheating on her mate. Everyone's needs are met, so everyone's happy. And the situation I just described is not uncommon here. You've also got the type of GFE where the woman is hoping to make things permanent, even though in the beginning, it was obviously just a rental situation. For instance, take the situation of a bar girl. You pay a fee to spend time with her, but she might still be looking for an emotional attachment and have dreams of finding her Prince Charming while getting paid to kiss all the frogs. For her, the girlfriend experience is a desirable situation because while she's making a living, she's hoping she might actually fall in love with someone who feels the same way about her. It's certainly not an ideal way to find a mate, But a lot of bar girls have actually managed to find good partners that way, with foreign guys who intended to just rent but ended up leasing and finally buying.
Now, let me make this very clear. You cannot buy love. Love is something that is given freely. This is why I often say the men that women love, the men that women actually desire, the Chads and the Tyrones, they don't have to pay for anything. They get everything for free. The very notion that by being wealthy and having all of these qualities and traits, oh, you're this tall, you have this amount of money, you have a six pack, and you have all of these things. Guys, she will never love you. She can like certain things about you. She can like things that you have. She can like the things that you can do for her, but she will never love you. We often, and a lot of very handsome men, because they fall into the trap as well, where they go to the gym, they work out, they get big muscles, they have abs, and they're like, I met the woman of my dreams, and by working out and becoming a man of value, now the woman that I'm with loves me. And there was a video on TikTok where this guy was condemning Simps, and I'm sorry to say, but I like the way he put it. He said that's the little homie, and you know what? Those are the little homies. You see all these big dudes, big as hell, bro. Big, meaning big, tall, mother effers. These are the little homies. That's the little bro. That's the little bro right there. Because they don't seem to understand she does not love you. She doesn't love you, little homie. She doesn't love you, little bro. All right? She does not love you. She might like how you look. She might like, feeling small when she's with you. She doesn't love you. Guys like Shaquille O'Neal, his girl cheated on him. And there are people who are like, well, he cheated on her too, evidently. Women don't care if a man cheats on them. Women do not care if a high value man cheats on them. You can look at street interview after street interview. Give a woman enough time and she will tell on herself. A guy like Shaq could not make a woman happy because Shaq is not for the streets. So it doesn't matter that if he cheated on her. At the end of the day, she would have cheated on him anyway. Okay? The men that she loves, the men that she actually desires, are the little ponchos. These are the men who get everything for free. And a lot of you refuse to listen to me. We act like all of these broke boys are handsome men. All of these broke boys are high value men. They are not high value men. They are low value men. These are broke boys, okay? The men that these women fall in love with them, a lot of them are some not very good looking people. They are not handsome men. They are not good looking men. They are not physically fit men. Little Pancho, his fat little belly and his little mustache, okay? Little Pancho little Pancho is just a little above 5 feet. Okay? Little Pancho he's struggling with the diabetes right now. The diabetes is, he's struggling, so he's sometimes the pee-pee slips out just like the farts. The pee-pee and the farts, they slip out sometimes. These are the men that she loves. These are the men that she desires. You cannot buy a woman's love. And men just don't want to understand this. I see the Simps in my comments that are like, well, I've been with my wife for 25 years and it's been wonderful. I got me a Filipina, or I've got me a woman from Japan, or blah, blah, blah. I've got me an Asian lady. So, this is what you got to do, fellas. Got to get yourself one of these women. And then they come right back to Uncle Angry. I don't know what happened, Uncle Angry. I don't know what happened. She just changed on me one day. You damn simp. That's Angry Sama to you, by the way. That's Angry Sama. Angry Sama. I tell you guys, I see Angry Sama popping up a lot in the comments now. I see it popping up a lot in the comments. Because I tell these men to get the hell out of here. Or if they repent, it's Angry Sama. And there's a lot of Angry Sama in the comments now. And of course, it's not the people who call me Angry Sama are also people who are showing high levels of respect to me, which they should. But Ultimately, a lot of these are men who they are simps, and now they realize that they are being pushed out of these spaces. When I say don't come back, don't watch the content, it's not for you. At least have some integrity. If you are going to be that type of person constantly attacking my content, don't gain any value from it. We don't want you here. And they're realizing that they have nowhere else to go, because the reason why these men are in the manosphere is because they have nowhere else to go. And if they get pushed out of here, what do they have left? They can go hang out with guys like Destiny. And Destiny is just basically a destiny with DEATH. Okay? Despair and destruction.
This is why love has nothing to do with relationships. All the things that people want in relationships, children, commitment, respect, sex, lifestyle, excitement, security, love doesn't give a shit about any of them. Love doesn't care whether it gives everything and receives nothing in return, precisely because it is not transactional. But we would call such a relationship where one person gives everything and receives nothing in return an abusive or exploitative relationship. Love is given spontaneously as a gift at the pleasure of the lover. Expecting acknowledgement, let alone reciprocity, is just transaction disguised as love. And this is because love is actually a form of defeat. Listen up. Love is exaltation by virtue of the humiliated self. And that is why it is so very rare to see in the world today.
Very few relationships are actually based upon love today. Some of them are based upon like at best. Oh, I like this person. I like this person. But that is absolutely not love. Love is much different than that. Love is an emotion that you do not need something from the other person to you do not need something from the other person to feel this way. But you have to remember that there's a thin line between love and hate. So love can become something else very, very quickly, which is the reason why it's actually best to understand that relationships are transactional, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Because when you comprehend this, you get that it's about what I can do for you and about what you can do for me and what we can build together. And over the course of time, we may come to develop a true respect for one another, and maybe even love for one another. That's why so many relationships where you have couples that were in arranged marriages, and they do better. Most guys, if you look at arranged marriages around the world, arranged marriages tend to last longer and have stronger relationships than your typical relationship where the boy and the girl, they meet one another, they fall in love, and then they're in divorce court a couple of years later saying that they were young and stupid and they didn't know what they were doing.
But what about the good girls? The ones that many of you say you're looking for. They don't want to become a GFE, they want to become your loving wife. And they want you to be their one and only husband in a traditional relationship. It has nothing to do with giving them money or paying fees or making monthly payments. Or does it? Now, I'll be the first one to admit that there are a lot of couples here with varying amounts of commitment to each other, and sometimes vastly different motivations for being together in the first place. But I also know that does not mean they don't love each other. If you claim there's no real love in relationships between foreigners and Filipinas, you're absolutely wrong. I know of too many examples that prove otherwise, but that still doesn't mean there's not any transaction going on too. Now that sounds like a really cynical way to look at it, but is it true? Can people actually love each other without any strings attached?
So to be clear, while I do respect the Filipina P, I do enjoy her videos, let's just be very clear that the way that a woman loves and the way that a man loves are very, very different. Women love transactionally. Men love in reality. Let's make that clear. So, again, if a woman truly loves a man, then she does not need or require anything of him. But when a woman talks about love, she is talking about transactional love. Love that she can give and take away at any given moment. That's not how love works. Love is transactional for a woman, where it's physical and real for a man. A man loves with his actual heart. He accepts a woman for who she is and what she actually has. Okay? A woman does not. A woman is an idealist. She is looking for a variety of different things before she will accept him. And he is constantly being crap tested by her if he wants to, and he must pass all of these tests if he wants to keep her love. That is not love, that is transaction. It is not to say that a woman cannot love, but most women do not love. Okay? They love the things that you can do for them. They love the things you have. They might even love how you look, but they will never actually love you.
In the case of the GFE, we're talking about a situation where a man gives money and resources in exchange for a woman's companionship, right? So, what's the difference between that and a traditional relationship? Well, at first glance, the obvious answer is love and respect. But what if you took away the financial aspect? Would there still be the feelings? That's an uncomfortable question, but let's see if we can figure it out. Relationships are based on fulfilling each other's needs, whether it's just a friend or whether it's a romantic bond. The people you choose to be in your life usually serve a mutually beneficial purpose. It could be shared goals or common interest or sexual intimacy. But for whatever reason, you give something they want and they provide something you want. In the case of a husband and wife, you probably wouldn't fall in love with someone that didn't meet your needs. That's not to say you won't end up with someone that's bad for you, but there was probably something they offered that you wanted. Ask your partner why they love you. Some things won't be said because maybe we're not even aware of them. But when they list what they love about you, they're actually listing their own needs and desires. You don't love someone who's a hateful liar, right? You probably wouldn't choose someone who physically disgusts you either. And chances are, a woman won't choose a man that can't even feed himself. You're attracted to and fall in love with someone who offers what you need in a mate, and they're doing the same with you.
And you see, that's why I say that women don't understand love because they talk about what they idealize, but they don't talk about what they actually do. Women can observe each other and they can observe what they do, but they don't care. They will simply talk about what they feel because women operate on feelings, not on facts. They replace facts with feelings and they process everything through the lens of how they feel. That's why emotions are a currency with women. And the only thing that a woman is loyal to are her emotions. The Filipina P is absolutely wrong here. I am not saying that they're not women who, in fact, many women, will say, well, what does the guy do for me? He can do this for me, blah, blah, blah. I'm falling in love with these qualities he has. That's not love. Okay? Oh my gosh, he has lots of money. Oh my gosh. I feel so happy when I'm with him. I feel like 'cause he could provide for me, and that's not love. That's lust. That's love. That's lust. Just like a man will lust after the way a woman looks, a woman will lust after the things that a man has and that he can do for her. She could, like I said, she can like you for how you look. She can like you for the things that you can do for her. She can like you for the things that you have. She can like you for the qualities that you may have, but she will never actually love you. The men that she loves are Chad and Tyrone and Little Poncho. Okay, the men who don't have to actually do anything but exist. And not all of these men are handsome men, and yet she loves them. These are not men with good personalities. These are not men of value. These are not men of substance. These men are often men that would be shunned by normal men. Men who've had to work hard in their lives, create things, build things that actually have value. These men could never even get close to these guys. And these are the men that women actually love. Those are the guys that they love. Those are the men that they desire. If you are a man who is 6 feet tall, you have a six pack, and you make above six figures a year, okay? You are not a plan A guy. You're not a plan S guy. You are not the man that she loves. You are a plan B guy. Plan A guys are guys like LeBron James, men with lots of money and, and specific traits. So, for example, he's one of the best athletes on the planet. All right, one of the most famous athletes on the planet. I think they said he's now a billionaire. He's one of the tallest people on the planet. Okay, he's one of the wealthiest people on the planet, one of the tallest people on the planet, one of the most famous people on the planet. These women don't love him. He's a plan A guy. Plan A guys are just upgrades of plan B guys. All right, your typical millionaire that's worth $1 million or a couple $1 million, those are plan B guys. The guys that are very famous and worth hundreds of millions or even $1 billion or more, those are plan A guys, okay? Plan B guys are your typical millionaire, your guy who makes above six figures, a guy who makes $1 million a year. Those are plan A guys. Those are plan B guys. Those are plan B guys, because women see $1 million is average now. A lot of women go around and say $1 million is not even a lot of money. But I'm telling you guys, when the great collapse occurs, the great V collapse, because it's coming, you're going to have a lot of women who are going to be suffering and struggling and going through extraordinary amounts of hardship, and men are not going to come to their rescue. Men are not going to help them. And they're the ones who would have brought this hardship and poverty and destitution upon themselves. And they're not going to learn from any of it, because if there's one thing I've learned about women, is that they will always side with their ego. All right, a woman will stand on that hill and she will blame everyone. She will blame God before she ever takes any accountability for what she's done. In the Garden of Eden, who do you think Lilith? Yeah, that one. Who do you think Eve really blamed? She will blame Adam. She will blame Adam. She will blame God. She will blame the snake. She will never actually take any accountability and say, you know what? I wanted the power of God. Even though God gave me everything, I still wanted more. Think about this. A woman, you can not even God could make a woman happy, because even when he gave her everything, she still wanted more. There is an emptiness inside of them that only sometimes motherhood and family can fill, and even then, it's a lot of times it's still not enough. That's why you can never make a woman happy. And also, I just wanted to remind you guys to check out the Angry Guy Clubhouse. Yeah. So if you want to support this channel and everything I do, check out the Angry Guy Clubhouse, get top expat and passport bro travel tips, digital nomad guides, passive income strategies, and hard-hitting manosphere content. Free subscribers get access to videos, podcasts, articles, and community chat, plus receive the passive income blueprint and digital nomad blueprint just for subscribing. Paid subscribers unlock exclusive guides like the How to Build an Online Business in 24 Hours ebook, wealth building blueprints, and crypto updates. Join us now. Click the link in the description.
Why?
All right, good luck. I'm leaving.
Are we done? Are we breaking up?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm done.
Why?
Because
What,
you.
what did I do?
How you know what you do?
What did I do?
You want everything for nothing.
Because I'm not giving you sugar?
No, I didn't say that.
That's really what you're crashing out. Cheers, baby.
You find me a new man.
You wanna get so hasty.
Because I give everything you give
You don't
nothing.
give me everything. What are you talking about? Everything? You think? No, you don't give me everything. Are we breaking up right now?
Yeah.
We're breaking up?
Yeah.
Oh. Because I won't give you sugar. We're breaking up. Oh. The breakup has occurred, everybody. You got mad? Thank you again. We're broken up.
Guys, women have gone down a very dark path. They are taking advantage of men. They are ripping men off. Here you have men who work their entire lives so that they can get the attention of a woman. And what women are doing is they basically get into relationships. You have these women who are operating as sugar babies. She knows exactly who she is. She knows what her job is in the relationship. She has him providing for her, giving her money, covering her bills. And then she's like, oh, well, it's still not enough. And what's happening? He's not getting any sugar. Guys, this is the society we live in right now, where, as I said before, relationships today, are just nothing more than transactional based. And they've always been transactional, but they're even more so. And men are being ripped off by the foodies, or now even the sugar babies. Women are paid companions, and all relationships are transactional. Don't let anyone fool you or tell you anything different, because if they do, they're just trying to take advantage of you. The simps, they all end up coming back to Uncle Angry. All roads lead to Uncle Angry.
Let's start with the basics: food, shelter, and safety. Traditionally, it's the man who bring money and security to the table. And I'm not just talking about economic security. Who's the one standing in front with a baseball bat when there's a noise at night? So, is it any wonder that women prefer a man who's physically bigger and stronger? And for the woman, she's typically the caregiver who tends to her husband and offspring. Who does a child usually run to when they've got a scraped knee? They also provide the sex that most men crave. Not that women don't enjoy it too, but it seems to be a more vital part of a man's needs throughout his entire life.
And yet, here is another lie. This is the reason why I said, again, I respect the Filipina P, but what she just spoke is absolute nonsense. And if you give women enough time, they will tell on themselves. There are many women who spell this out, even though a lot of men and women don't want to accept this or acknowledge this. Women, the average woman, needs physical intimacy more than the average man. Okay? Women need it more than men. The reason why there's a perception that men need it more than women is because it's much more readily available to women. Women don't tell us the truth, guys. You don't know who your mommy was. You don't understand what your mommy was doing when she was younger. You don't know how many times your mommy has stepped out of the relationship on your daddy. Okay? Many of you are just like little children in your heads, well into your 30s and 40s, and you don't learn your lessons until much later on in life. And unfortunately, sometimes some of you never learn your lessons. And then when the reality comes crashing down, you come looking for me because you need answers. And you remember, there was that prick named Angry who used to say all of this just downright terrible stuff. And now you're like, holy cow, Angry was right. He's the only one who understands. No, you just did not want to listen. Where does my knowledge come from? I don't put myself on a pedestal. I tell you right off the bat where my knowledge comes from. Smart men are men who are able to learn from their own mistakes and experiences. Wise men are men who are able to learn from their own mistakes and the experiences of others. That's what has given me a lot of wisdom. I learn so much on a daily basis, just even from my community. There's all these nuggets of wisdom that come from the experiences of other men, even on my channel. But many of you don't want to hear these things. They are basically the things that you want. You want a woman. So basically, once that need is met, you don't care about anything else. There was a guy in my comments, and he absolutely pissed me off when he suggested that a man cannot be happy living a simple life without a woman. So there's a post that I made. And I titled it, Women Don't Understand Just How Little a Man Needs to Survive and Be Happy. And you can see the image, it's captioned, "This is all a man needs to be happy." You have a flat panel television, okay, what appears to be an Xbox Series S on the ground, and some other electronics. He has an ear mattress, and there's not much else there. A bottle of wine and some other stuff. There's also a backpack in the car in the corner of the room. And some of you guys were actually saying that this is way too fancy, right? For the average man, men love lives of simplicity. You don't have anything to clean up after. You have no clutter around you. This is heaven for a lot of guys. This is absolute heaven for a lot of men. Now, when you scroll down, you'll see comments, for example, being single and not having a woman around has its perks. Only a true gentleman will understand. B30 says, simplicity and comfort. Ball says, things you own end up owning you. Tyler Durden. Bird says, I'm high maintenance. I would like a dinner tray added. Lone Wolf says, facts. Evil says, I see that picture and my first thought is, look at all that peace and quiet. But then when you scroll all the way down, you have to remember that the Simps are still out and about. We have Mr. Simp Shane. And he says, Happy? No, lol. That guy is not happy. He's comfortable, maybe even content. He's not happy, lol. That's a simp. You see, a simp will basically say that no man can be happy without a woman. The INCELs don't realize just how lucky many of them are to have never been in a relationship. So many of us wish we could go back in time and have never got into relationships at all. We wish that we had. I mean, if it wasn't for the relationships I had, I would not. I would not have the knowledge I do now. But many of us really do wish we had walked away when we were younger. We had just looked, said, yeah, nah, I'm good, bro. I'm 100% good. And we kept on walking. That's the truth. Many of us wish we had never gotten involved in relationships. We had, learned our lessons early on and stayed the heck away from relationships, just played video games, worked on ourselves, and, invested in property and went our own way. Look at this. Look at the simp. This is your typical simp, y'all. All right, Shane. Happy? No, you cannot. A man cannot be happy by himself. A man cannot be happy just having peace. Okay, you can be content, you can be comfortable, but you can never be happy alone. Jesus help us, guys. That is a simp. That's why I say they are destructive. And what are they doing on my channel? Because they have nowhere else to go. They have nowhere else to go, and they will continue to spread their toxic message. Simps are evil. They are evil, vindictive, wicked creatures. They are responsible for so much of our pain and suffering. I would argue they are responsible for all of our pain and suffering. The actions of women in society are just a symptom because of what Simps have done and continue to do. They are deplorables amongst us. Guys, so many Simps will not change until they have suffered just enough to say, you know what, I don't want to suffer anymore. Then many will never stop. Many Simps will never stop. They will just can't stop, won't stop. They will just keep on going. They will just keep on simping, and it will destroy as many lives as it takes. And they will never learn their lessons. Guys, that's why a man who cannot control himself, a man who would hurt another man over a woman, is a joke. If I'm with a woman and she cheats on me with some dude, you think I'm going to go and be pissed off and want to go after the dude? And listen, I'll say to him straight up, buddy, if you want her, you can have her. You did me a favor. You did me a solid, man. The only thing is that I just hope I didn't catch anything. All right? And sometimes the other guy doesn't even know about you. He doesn't even know that you were that she was in a relationship. It's a level of stupidity competing for women who never actually love you. Women all have backup plans as well. They all have a backup man. 50% of women who were surveyed admitted, 50% of married women that were surveyed admitted that they have a backup man that they will leave their husbands for and go to immediately. So this means that not only do they have a man already as a backup that they have built a relationship with, but to make matters worse, that's not considering all the men that they have on the side that they are being physically intimate with. Women desire physical intimacy more than men. Women are designed for physical intimacy more than men. Women have significantly more exploits than the average man. Most men, it's basically touch and go, touch and go. If you get it one time, you're lucky. Women, on the other hand, they can get it whenever they want, however many times they want. This is the crazy thing we don't even talk about. It's sick, and it's like you just don't listen. And there are a lot of you guys. You'll basically go out and you'll find some Filipina, or you'll find a woman or a Latina or a woman in another country, and you'll say that she's in the Walt, and then you'll have this gaze over you, and then maybe a couple of months in, you're screwed. A couple of years in, 10 years in, 20, 25 years, 30 years, 40 years in, and you find out that she was basically cheating on you. The kids aren't yours. Everything that Uncle Angry said is true. Okay? But guess what? For a lot of you, I won't be around forever. I won't be around forever. I already know that. She never loved you. She can like the things that you can do for her. She can like certain things about you, but she doesn't actually like you. Or rather, she does not actually love you. Okay? Women lust for men. They lust for the things that a man has, and they call it love. All right? She can lust for how you look. She can lust for your money. She can lust for your wealth and your success. She doesn't like you, bro. The woman doesn't like you. She never liked you. Or should I say she never loved you? She can like you, but she doesn't love you. She can lust for you, but that's not love. Just like men misunderstand sometimes and they don't understand the difference between lust and love. Well, women don't understand the difference between lust and love. Okay? The man that they love, the men that they love are the little ponchos. They love little poncho. They love little poncho.
And I probably just ticked off all the feminists because it sounds like I'm saying that a woman's place is to be a subservient caregiver and baby factory who needs a man for protection. But I'm simply saying that this is the way it's traditionally been since human beings huddled in caves. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, I'm just telling it like it is. And anyone who denies the reality of social evolution is trying to rewrite history and being intellectually dishonest. So, for both parties, it's an exchange of goods and services. We don't like to think of it that way, but what do we call an exchange of goods and services? A transaction. And what do we call any transaction where sex is involved? You know what we call it. But surely I'm not suggesting that marriage is a watered down form of prostitution, am I? Well, let's look at a few different scenarios. When cash changes hands for a quick physical encounter in the backseat of your car, that's a no-brainer. But what about when a man offers to help a woman with a bill and she suddenly seems to warm up to him and start spending time with him? That's more of a gray area, but it still doesn't sound exactly like the GFE. What if a guy starts sending monthly payments to a woman to provide for her housing and other expenses? And although she wouldn't normally be interested in the man, she spends a lot of time talking and texting with him, and they start having occasional physical relations. What's the difference between that and a girlfriend experience? The only difference I can think of is the feelings involved. But if it's happening online or long distance, how could you possibly know if it's genuine?
The truth, guys, is that it's just a form of long-term prostitution. Women are going to be facing extraordinary hardships as more men realize that the juice was just never worth the squeeze, and the reality is that she never loved you. Let me know what you guys think if you agree that women are just paid companions and all relationships are transactional. Let me know your thoughts and we'll talk about it in the comments. You can find the Filipina piece full video linked in the description so you can watch the full video and enjoy the full video. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWM and walking away. And cheers.